Oh, yeah, I turned it on. Okay, inmendham video. Yeah, I just thought I'd better do an update video. I planned on it. I was going to do a better video, but it didn't work out. Time, such, whatever. So anyway, yeah, there was a couple of videos I just thought I should mention, at least before, Sunday. Sunday seems still a few days away. So anyway, yeah, there was the debate thingy, or discussion, or dialogue, that's what they call it, with Professor Anton. So that was sort of an interesting event, so I will point it out, link below. Then there was Tool Time, after 4 months, responded to my video with a nothing response, just basically character assassination kind of stuff. Just bullshit, really. That's all you can call it. Pointless, idiotic. He's never known what to make videos about anyway. Somebody has to really point him to something before he can figure, oh, I could make a video on that? Oh, okay. So, yeah, he just obviously said, oh, what do I make a video about? I feel like making a video. And he had to go scratch his little brains and figure it out. And, so anyway. So, yeah, yeah, I did a response video to that. Link below. And, yeah, so lots of other good videos as usual, on the Boom, Doom, and Gloom channel. Some of them qualifying stuff said in the Anton debate, which you always have to do, because people always take what you say the wrong way, and then you got to explain, I don't believe in reincarnation. Well, I'll talk about that later, maybe. Yeah, maybe I'll just make this into a video about that. So, yeah, but first I'll finish up on the updates, and then you can go away. Karina, that's it. Yeah, her blog, I'll post a link to that. Post a couple of videos on her trip and such and whatnot, so that was good. It does look like she got cooties, but I guess she'll probably be okay. She was recovering, but that's what happens. You hang out with those nerdy people, you get cooties. So anyway, and see what else was news. I know there was something else, and I'm forgetting it. God damn it! It's always the way. Oh yeah, and in the Tool Time video, I'll just point out, I think I should have said Neanderthal instead of Cro-Magnon man. Seriously, I don't really remember people's names. I don't take details too seriously like that. So I'm not even sure anymore in my head. I'm pretty sure it was Neanderthal, so I'm just Neanderthal, as they say it. That I meant instead of Cro-Magnon man. Cro-Magnon man, I don't even think I think he was fake. Whatever he was. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we killed him, basically. Yeah, we did. We probably did. But anyway, so I just make that little subtle correction. It isn't a big deal, but you never know. The crazies will probably make it a big deal. What else? That's probably enough. Alright, so I'm going to talk about reincarnation, just because, this is what I do. I talk about things. Yeah, so I keep trying to explain to people that, there's 7 billion people in the world, and the truth is that there's probably like 1,000 varieties of people. You could categorize us into 1,000 categories, and the people would be in those categories would be very similar. Women would be in like the Barbie category, or the Mel Gibson category. I guess women would be in the Mel Gibson category. Well, some might, Well, anyway, you know what I'm getting at. If you had 1,000 categories, you could slot people pretty well, and they'd all fit kind of a model. And you could categorize them by philosophy, or you can categorize them by physical appearance, or you could categorize them by emotional disposition. And, yeah, you'll come up with something pretty similar. And then you can even do subcategories, like I said, cross categories of certain appearance and certain philosophy and certain psychology. And I'm just saying, once you do all that crap, you might come up with 1 million people that, I am simpatico with. That we are very similar in how we live our lives, or how we feel about our lives, how we think about our lives, blah, blah, blah. And so consciously, we'd have similar wheels turning, similar programs running. Words would be similarly defined inside of our head. We'd have similar affections and tastes for things. And so in essence, we would be twins, or we would be the same person in practical effect. And then if you just take that into the future, you know, where a whole bunch of new people are in the future, there's going to be future people who are going to be very much like me. Now, they might not live here, but they might be walking in the woods somewhere else, 5,000 miles away. But they'd be living a similar life and feeling the similar kind of tensions and stresses, have similar personality defects and whatnot. And so there'd be a great symmetry or similarity or compatibility between those human types. And so of course, why wouldn't I empathize or have a sense of self projected into those individuals and say it's essentially me? All the necessary components exist. I mean, I'm not too attached to my toes, so you could cut my toes off and I'd still be me. You know, you could maybe add an inch or two or take off an inch or two here or there, and it's still going to be me, mostly. You know, this is the way it is. You know, it's just not that we're unique, but we're not beyond categorization, and we're not beyond appreciating that we are functionally the same. Maybe that's the word to use. So yeah, it would be in my interest, if I'm living in the future, to know that the past Gary took care of me, that he paved the road for me, that he made sure it was clear, there wasn't any bear traps in the way if he saw any, or that he, you know, got rid of something I might trip on, or did other things to care for the fact that he knew I was going to walk this path someday in the future. It's just common sense. And so, if I knew there was a danger threatening my future similar self, why wouldn't I do something to stop it? Why wouldn't I do something to try to take out the enemy before the enemy can take out my future self? That kind of idea. It's perfectly logical. So yeah, it's not explicit reincarnation. He's not going to remember my life. I'm not going to know his life. There's no direct connection. But the connection is solid. In spite of the fact that it has no direct connection, it's still solid. Like this rock, you know, has some affiliation or similar categorization ability to that rock. They have a similar mineralogy. They might have been broken off of the same parent rock. So yeah. And with sentient creatures, that's what becomes important, is the feeling psychology. And I would argue further, let's see how much time we got, can't go over 15. You know, I'll try to keep it to 10 or something. Well, I'm not going to make it. Look, you can argue even further that the softer you make those categories with finer lines, the broader, the more people fit into them. And ultimately, you could argue that we're all feeling creatures. Why wouldn't I think of everyone as if it was me? I've said this before, but it doesn't matter who suffers. It really doesn't. You know, there's no, it's no difference. Yes, it's good for the evil to suffer if that's gonna change who they are. But if it doesn't change them, then it doesn't matter. Pain is pain. It's a conscious experience. And it just doesn't matter whether an asshole is experiencing it or the most beautiful, wonderful person on earth is experiencing it. It's still pain. And it would be insensible, in my opinion, nonsensical, for me not to see myself as having a stake in that circumstance, and what happens to sentient creatures overall. So we can go from categorizing individual types of human to realizing that all humans are basically human, to realizing that all sentient beings are sentient, and that's really the only thing that matters. So if I'm not looking out for the welfare of the sentient as a whole, I'm failing, in my opinion. I don't see any logical recourse. You have to be realizing that what you perpetuate and what you allow to happen in the future, if all I have to do is, spin this dirt a little, and I save 50 people from harm in the future, well, I have an obligation to spin that dirt. That's just a fact. It would be nonsensical not to do it, because it cost me nothing but a few moments of time. No real effort whatsoever. No real risk whatsoever. And I did great benefit to 50 of my kind. 50 of myselves were saved great harm. I was spared 50 years of horror that was no different than if I experience it right now. Certainly if I could save myself from, some having a heart attack or a stroke right now, just by doing that, I would do it. So why wouldn't I do it for the future human or the future sentient? So it's not reincarnation in any explicit sense, like, oh yes, I remember being Gary, and I once picked my nose, or some other bullshit. Who cares what Gary did? Who cares about the little individual specifics of Gary life? The point is being alive, and a coalescing and a completion of experiences. That's all that matters. Restraining a dog for me. Can't be trusted, huh?
Yeah, it is. He just likes to run after you.
Okay.
Sometimes it scares people.
Oh, that's alright. I ain't too afraid.
I'm a big boy.
Anyway. It's nice of them to restrain their pets. But it seems a little excessive. Yeah. Anyway. Where was I? Yes, that's enough. And I still am under time, which is good. So anyway, so there's 30 comments on the Professor Anton video, jabbering about how I believe in reincarnation. Because these people don't care to listen to my videos. They just care to, they care to make a critique about who I am and what I believe and what I think. And they couldn't care less about going to the trouble to know what I say and what I have said over and over and over again. And, assholes like that, there should be some button on YouTube where I can just kick the fuckers in the nuts. Because it's bullshit. I don't waste my time not knowing who they are and writing raggy comments about what they believe based on indirect and incomplete information. And so they should offer me the same courtesy. But they're too stupid, they're too selfish, they're too egomaniacal, and they type about 30 comments, which is really annoying, and their screen names are often in all caps, which is really, as a real giveaway. Pay attention to me, pay attention to me, idiots. So anyway, that is enough of a video. Another one in the can, as they say. That doesn't sound right. I was talking about eating wives in the other video too, and that sure doesn't sound right. So, it sounds right, but you know what I mean. Really can't avoid what pops into the old head in terms of imagery. So anyway, that's enough. Yeah, I'm actually gonna run out of time if I don't shut up soon. 13, that says, right? 14. Okay, yeah, I got a minute left. Yeah, I have the time restraint on the inmendham channel. These are the stupid Thunderfoot copyright violation. It's just so stupid. Thunderfoot puts music in the background of his videos, and I get a strike. How stupid can you get? Anyway, till next time and such, and so forth and whatnot.